Welcome back, guys. It's Tuesday, May 23rd. Yesterday was a holiday for us here in Canada, but next week it will be a holiday for you. Memorial Day is May 29th, so keep that in mind as you avoid planning any trades for that day. As you can see by the title, the memes are back. We've got GameStop up almost 10% yesterday, and doing just crazy moves these past couple days. It's slightly red in pre-market, but it's been like that and reversed so many times in the past that it's a question to see. But I think what most of you, for some unbeknownst to me reason, are very excited for today is none other than Automotive. Rylar was Rylar was very kind to share the link with me. So I'm not sure if somebody would like to bring it up here on the screen and stream the webcast. I think it started just a couple minutes ago. But keep in mind, this is, a penny of the penny stocks, and a pretty good chance that you may lose everything, as it is potentially on the chopping board for getting delisted. Down 6.25% in pre-market, but that's pretty much its range. It has a pretty big range every single trading day, because again, it is like $100 million market cap. So yeah, Riley, would you be interested in pulling up the?
Oh yeah, no problem. Just give me a minute to see where that link is. Hold on.
So before we get into that, I think we do need to take a second to apologize to our non-Canadian, non-American friends. While Opinion was right that yesterday was a holiday for Canada, Monday is not a holiday for everyone else, and there are friends on other parts of the globe, so we apologize for your exclusion in that opener.
Yes, we'd like to let you know as a friendly reminder that the market is closed next Monday, so you have 4 solid days to get your money gambling system out, and Re is a great name to say on the tip of your tongue. However, maybe not the greatest stock to get into right now as it sells off pre-market. And they did miss by 1 penny.
Which is like, what, 15% of their market cap, 1 penny?
I think that's the director's salary, so we're going to have a... yeah. These guys have ambitious... Go ahead, sorry.
They did have get an extension to November 6th to stay on the NASDAQ, because they added some new directors to their board and met some other requirements, so they were able to get an extension to go above $1, but who knows if that'll happen by November.
Yeah. I just want to remind everybody that in August last year it was sitting at $1.59, and then about March of last year it was sitting about 85 cents, and since then now it's sitting at 40, so keep that in mind. But nonetheless, it's maybe we'll get there. Maybe we will be the say all to bring this stock up to $1 if we all just rally around it. But just remember, everyone's going to sell at the top of the dollar too. So, it's a fun play if you want to be on the roller coaster. We are selling tickets.
Maybe make sure you have a broker that can handle a stock that gets delisted. Might be a thought. You can go ahead, Rylar.
Non-GAAP financial measures today, including non-GAAP net loss and non-GAAP operating expenses. Please see our shareholder letter for a reconciliation of these non-GAAP measures to the most directly comparable GAAP measures. At this point, I will turn the call over to Daniel.
Thanks, Kamal. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. I hope that you have seen our press release and shareholder letter issued earlier this morning at investors.re.auto. If you haven't yet, I encourage you to review it, as it has additional information on the topics that we will discuss on this call today. I'm pleased to share that 2023 has gotten off to a great start for Re Automotive. Our first quarter afforded us several exciting opportunities at events like World Truck Week and ACT Expo, where we were able to interact with influential fleets and dealers understand their key challenges, and showcase REE's unique value proposition. Our team was also able to achieve important milestones, like the completion of our winter testing in Sweden, another considerable step on our journey to getting REE vehicles on the road. Our focus remains on our path to certification by the second half of 2023, with initial pilot vehicle deliveries by the end of 2023, and we continue to make great progress here. We are working on a two-phase production plan that will allow us to achieve sustainable growth. Phase 1, which is expected to run through 2024, anticipates the pilot production and assembly of vehicles in the low hundreds, targeting break-even gross margin on a unit level by the end of 2024. Phase 2 targets production in the low to mid-thousands of vehicles with break-even EBITDA by the end of year 2025. More details on our two-phase production plan can be found in our As you may have seen, we recently announced the introduction of the P7C chassis cab, which complements our existing product lineup and further emphasizes our near-term focus on zero-emission Class 3 to 5 vehicles. The P7C targets the fast-growing and highly incentivized Class 4 EV market and joins our P7B, the box truck, and P7S, the street chassis, in the. We expect significant demand for zero-emission Class 3 to 5 vehicles to be driven by the recently adopted California Advanced Clean Fleet Regulations, the ACF, which sets ambitious targets for commercial fleets to pursue zero-emission trucks. The 2020 MOU, signed by 15 states and the District of Columbia, is expected to expand the benefits and reach of the ACF throughout the U.S., further driving the commercial EV market. Interest in the P7 program increased, as proven by the growth of our dealer network in the U.S., which now includes 8 dealers and 3 fleet customers. Together, these dealers have already placed initial orders of approximately 100 vehicles, which are included in our current order book. From a financial perspective, we ended the quarter with liquidity of $126 million, comprised of cash, cash equivalents, and short-term investments, and no debt. We expect to end the year with $65 million of liquidity, including financing the initial 25 vehicles for internal testing and pilot deliveries for selected customers. We expect to generate sufficient orders to ramp up series production based on our growing dealer network and fleet customers. We understand that this ramp up to the low to mid thousands of vehicles produced will require additional funding before we reach break-even EBITDA, mainly due to the working capital requirements. We estimate that this ramp up will require $80 to $100 million, and we will explore option of raising debt or equity in the right form, all in line with the progress of our business cycle and needs. We will provide more color on our model later this year with the progress of our plan. Before we open it up for questions, I want to first of all remind you to take a look at the shareholder letter which we shared this morning, which talks to all of these highlights in more detail. You can access it on our investor website at investors.re.auto. I would also like to take this opportunity and thank the REE team across the globe for their continued hard work and dedication, particularly for the milestone they have already achieved this year. I look forward to sharing more of the great work we have accomplished together in future updates. Operator, please open up the call for questions.
Thank you. As a reminder, to ask a question, you will need to press star 1 and 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. And to withdraw your question, please press star 1 and 1 again. Please stand by while we compile the Q&A roster. Thank you. We'll now take our first question. Please stand by. First question is from the line of Mike Shlisky from D.A. Davidson. Please go ahead.
Hello, good morning, and thanks for taking my question. I guess I just wanted to ask quickly, Daniel, about your last comment there about potentially clearing some more capital for production as things ramp up. I guess I'd be curious. You're weighing debt, you're weighing equity. I guess I was wondering, do you expect to have orders first before you go to raise the capital? Because that would make debt a lot easier for RE, or do you need to raise money before you have any orders to kind of keep the operation going just before you start the heavier production?
Hi, good morning. It's Yaron here. So I think for us it's a little bit too early to make a decision about what to do first, right? So basically speaking, we know we have access both to equity and probably also to raising debt even today, because we are quite sure that we can achieve our goals. We'll explore it over time based on the coming months, and then we can make a decision. But for now, it's too early for us to make that direct call what we are going to do, if it's equity or if it's debt.
Okay. And just a quick product question. You mentioned winter testing, and that was over in Sweden. I guess from that point, what is left to do to ensure that RE has a road-ready vehicle for anyone to purchase and drive? Is there anything major left to do, or is it going to be a sales and ramp up from that point
on? Josh, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. I'll take that. No problem. What we plan on doing is this year. I mean, the winter test was a milestone for base calibration, but we will continue to this year. We're still on track for completing certification activity. So we will be building our homologation vehicles ready for Q3, and that will allow us to complete all those related activities to be homologated and certified by the end of the year. So we do not see any roadblocks there at the moment.
And that's all three major P7 products, or one of them?
No, that's correct. That's the P7B, the P7C, and of course the strip chassis for the classified walk-in van.
Okay. Maybe one last one for me. Can you maybe update us on the status of the sort of readiness to produce in both Coventry and Austin? I'm curious if one's way ahead of the other, or if also just waiting to have that large order to start building within the U.S. at this point.
Yeah. So what we do, we plan. 2024 production is expected to be, as we said, in the low hundreds, and we're going to initially do that from Coventry, and that's intentional, of course. And then during 24, we'll plan to build out the U.S. production capacity across the board.
Okay. I'll leave it there. Thanks so much for the color. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll now take our next question. Please stand by. This is from the line of Colin Langan from Wells Fargo. Please go ahead.
Oh, great. Thanks for taking my question. Last quarter, you talked about you had enough cash to sort of launch the P7. What's changed in the last few months that now you need to raise 80 to 100 million in capital?
Hi, it's Yaron here again. So actually nothing changed, right? So basically, if you look at our projection for the end of the year, in the coming three quarters, we are going to spend roughly $20 million per quarter. Part of it is because we still need to invest in the NRE. The question is and we are also going to have like 25 first vehicles. The question is how to work in the coming 2 years afterwards, because we are going to ramp up. And for us, in order to ramp up, it's always a working capital issue, because there's always a time gap between the time we are paying to the time that we are getting the money from the customers. So for that, it's the plan to raise money. So if there was no working capital issue, probably the answer would that we don't need to raise 80 to 100. But based on our current plan for the next 2 years, I think we need to be here a little bit to take another step and to make sure that we have enough capital not to have any working capital issue in the coming 2 years.
Got it. And just maybe it's an obvious question, but does this affect your accounting opinion? Because you're saying you need to raise capital. I think liquidity is one of those things that they sometimes flag. Will there be? Does it affect your audit?
Can anybody else barely hear this?
Since it's so far out, it's not going to be an issue, just so we could know what to expect.
So the question is why we are mentioning 80 to 100. Can you repeat the question again?
Does it affect?
Anyone know how we bring back the music bot? Oh, for anybody who has been asking in the chat, we've been following Re Automotive for a couple months now. In the meme stocks channel, they've become a fan favorite. And this is the first time they've missed their earnings since I've been watching it, and they only missed it by a little bit. They're still on track for their goals by the end of the year. It's a fun one to watch. Yeah, it's a penny stock. You can lose money on it, but a lot of people like having fun with it. Anybody want to talk about plays today? Hello?
Yeah, someone in the comments asked if I was still bearish on Google. I am bearish on Google still. I don't hold any shares. I'm looking to buy in a few puts. So that's my current stance on Google. Oh, my case against them is I just think they're an ad tech company that used to be a technology company, but they're having a real hard time releasing anything other than Google Ads. So, they're not innovating in other technological spaces like they used to, and I think eventually it's going to affect their bottom line.
Can you hear the music bot now? I'll take your silence as a yes. Okay, people are saying yes.
Someone said if we fail to raise the debt ceiling, I heard markets will be cut in half. Well, here's the thing about it. 40% of U.S. equities are owned by foreign investors. If we actually do a full default on our bond, undoubtedly the majority of foreign investors will pull out of U.S. markets. So that's where I believe the White House is coming up with that 46% number. They're just pulling a number out of their hat. They're like, I don't know. Like all of them are going to leave. I don't know if that's even true. A few fact checks real quick about the debt ceiling. So everyone's saying that June 1st is the deadline. It's not entirely true. Our interest payments are actually due in the middle of June on the debt. However, June 8th, the Treasury office, in fact, there's actually a single guy at the Treasury office is responsible for making sure that American bank accounts have money in them. which to me is just hilarious that it just comes down to one dude. But that guy is saying that June 8th is when they're going to actually run out of money. So again, June 1st is the thing that everybody's bandying about and that we're hearing in the press, stuff like that. But the reality is that June 1st date can come and go, and we still have a little bit of cushion. That doesn't mean that markets won't panic on June 1st. They very well could. They could panic on June 1st just because that's what everybody's heard. So I think it's something to keep an eye on as the debt ceiling gets closer and closer. Don't all talk at once, folks.
I know, it's really quiet in here.
Everyone was asking me to end that stream, and now they're dead silent.
Well, do you want I definitely knew that Yellen thing was a fictitious date that was used to kind of like spur people into action earlier rather than later.
Was there anything fictitious yesterday about the Pentagon? Nothing, right?
Where did that come from? What happened in the Pentagon?
AI.
Yeah, that was generated by artificial intelligence.
Oh, you didn't know? You better call Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, for those that were still on the stream yesterday afternoon, there was a fictitious post that made its rounds on Twitter and got shared a lot about an explosion occurring outside of the Pentagon. They had pictures and things like that. Turned out to all be generated by AI, and it was spread around Twitter. It was just fake. Fake news.
Okay. Now I'm caught up.
Hey, good morning, guys. What's going on?
Good morning.
So listen, I'm pretty new to this, and I have a question, right? I've been talking to some people and some friends, and they were like, oh, the numbers are going to catch up in June for like horrible sales from Tesla. And supposedly Tesla's going to have this big dip in June, you know. So I'm just trying to get some feedback on that.
So personally, I actually think I was looking at not necessarily Tesla specifically, but I was looking at like market in general. And if I remember correctly, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, T-bills are ending May are only like 3%, whereas T-bills in ending in June Treasury bills ending in June are 6%, and I think beyond that are climbing higher. And so what I think is going to happen is that you're going to see, like, I feel like the whole market is kind of like waiting for their investments to like kind of fill out in May, and I think you'll start to see big money move to Treasury bills starting in June, seeing as it's like 6%.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you. This is awesome, by the way, being on this thing.
Yeah, I actually haven't been on in a little while. I've been pretty busy. Also, I noticed. I'm sorry, I blanked.
It's all good.
You're all good, bro. We've replaced the rapid fire plays with somber silence in the morning. So just out of respect,
Jeez, that hurts.
for the recessionary market, you know.
Or
You got to respect the recession. In other news, I was thinking about this. Where are the people that show us on flying cars? I've not heard about it in a minute. If anybody's down in the comments that wants to come up here and talk about VTOL and the other flying cars, please come up, because I've not heard about it in a minute. I'd like to hear more about it.
Oh, that was Copper Murphy, if I remember correctly, was actually the flying car guy, wasn't
it? It was Copper.
Yeah, it was great. I figure if we're not talking about any other stocks, we might as well talk about flying car stocks. Why not?
Well, I mean, as far as stocks go, one of the other things that I was looking into, and I posted on there, was Fannie Mae showing the decrease in new home starts and over the next few quarters, and the fact that the decline is increasing, or at least projected to increase, obviously starting Q2. But that also makes me think that Home Depot's probably in for more trouble than they're already in, because that means if they're seeing a decline in home starts, that means home builders aren't purchasing as much. So I'm going to be moving bearish to Home Depot for the rest of the year.
I would do that for Lowe's as well, because being sell they probably, I think, a free market today.
Yeah. I think that kind of went without saying. I'm sorry, I didn't clarify exactly.
I was just going to say that Lowe's is going to burn to the fucking ground.
Do keep in mind Home Depot tends to attract contractors, while Lowe's tends to attract homeowners doing do-it-yourself projects. Obviously, they'll have some crossover, but just something to consider.
If Reed keeps ripping down like this, I'm on track to lose more on Reed than my monthly narcotics budget. Brutal.
It went down. It's moving up slightly.
Yeah. So what do we buy then? Gotta go calls on
when it hits the floor.
Scald, have you considered making a Twitter thread about how this is all market manipulation and fake, and the real price is $50,000 a share? I heard that's a very solid way to get a stock to really move up.
That is, holy crap, it's Rad the Reptile. Who was it? It was Lockstar yesterday, had a question about some company that started with an I and also had the name Electric in it. And I was like, this is a mining stock. Why do you want us to evaluate it? Only Rad would know about it. What was
it
that company
Ivanhoe?
called, Lockstar?
Ivanhoe.
Of course it was Ivanhoe.
Ivanhoe Electric. Yeah. What's the deal?
What's the
It's
question?
Ivanhoe Energy. Actually, I believe it's Ivanhoe Energy. I like what they fucking. They're out of Vancouver, so I can just go fucking down there. And I can get a meeting with them if I fucking want to. So I know I follow them forever.
Yeah, and if you've never heard of them, Rad, Like, don't worry about it. I just thought, like, hey, if Rad was on here, he'd probably know something about them.
Oh, I know Ivanhoe. They're a gold copper project, as most copper projects are gold copper projects because they tend to hang out. A lot of people
Iridium.
like them. Not something I'm
Is it
particularly
Radium?
playing.
Have you seen their power plants?
What's up?
IE, right? IE Ivanhoe
Yeah.
Energy.
Yeah,
They've got a lot to keep going.
From what I know of
Big
them,
problem.
they just have gold copper projects. But I haven't done a ton of research into them. But I've heard
Go to their
people who say they
website
like them.
and blow your mind. Go to their website, to the energy one. It'll fucking blow your mind.
Why don't you just tell us about it? Why are they doing energy when they're a mining company?
No, they're dual. They got two companies.
Can you enlighten me on the second company, please, and thank you?
What I will do is I will post it because I don't feel like talking right now about it because I haven't done enough research on it to be able to elaborate. But I do like what I see. And I will elaborate no further because I can't elaborate on something I can't fucking elaborate on. So I'll just put in the comments and you guys can take a look. It'd be better for you guys.
I'll give it a look through. Yeah, just pop it in. I get it. You don't know enough, but you're a little excited. I've been there.
Yeah. No. I do know enough about some of them. You know, like I know enough of what you know about the other company, but there's two, and they've always had two. So one was energy before, but now it's like electric almost. You know what I mean? Ish.
Hi, everyone. Just because I see a couple people throwing around lithium stuff, there was some news for Ford yesterday afternoon. I don't know if you all saw. I guess their earnings are Monday, but they've cut 3 or 4 contracts with different lithium purveyors, which obviously doesn't really mean much in the long term, but just something going into earnings that you all might want to look at. But it's SQM out of Chile, then the one out of Ogden, Utah. I can't quite remember their name right now, and the processing plant in California. But just 3 separate lines for it, just for those into lithium and vehicles and 3.
It's like Re's going back up slightly, back up to 34 cents.
Did anybody see that China had banned Micron from large infrastructure projects in China?
They did some kind of a security audit on the Micron chips, and I guess Micron failed. Do you have a play on it? Puts, calls? What do you think?
No, I mean just a brief look at it. I would say puts, but no, I don't have a play on it. I just saw the article. And China's a pretty big country, so I figured that might affect it somewhat.
I couldn't find that Ford article, but I do have what I pasted to somebody last night. Is that okay to drop something sizable in the chat, or no? Would you all rather not, Scald? And opinion.
I mean, I think if it gets the information out there, I would imagine it would be all right.
Disco.
I don't know. I mean, based on the other new type of lithium batteries that are trying to be released, I know Panasonic and Toyota are actually have a joint venture. I can't remember the name of it specifically, but I know that they're actually dealing with a new lithium battery that's actually supposed to be released 2026. And it's supposed to be exponentially better than what we have on the market right now. Let me see if I can find the info on that.
Here, since you guys like plays, this is what I'm doing for the forward earnings. One of two different things, but this is just manage it. If y'all do it, don't. There's unlimited risk.
I like Ford.
I'm also extremely long on them, but for the short earnings play from the last night, we're going over the last 8 historic and all the volatility on it, and that was just my guess with all this. Was that it'll drop right off. It's been a rough 2 years for them, but I believe that they'll consolidate and buy up a lot of the EV companies eventually, as will all the other big guys.
Anyone playing the gap earnings Thursday after market? I think it's going to go down. I'm probably going to get puts on them.
Yep. Yeah. Die, motherfucker, die.
I think when I opened my account, like in December, they gave me free Gap shares, and it was like 12 or 14. Now it's like 8 or below.
And it's going to 4. And then it'll pump up. Then it'll pump down. And then somebody will come back and magically fucking save the place. I mean, they do have some shit, right? So you can't discount Old Navy or Banana Republic, but the Gap.
I mean, on a global scale for fast fashion, they're what they're competing with is absolutely monstrous against them, like Uniqlo and the like coming out of China and Japan, and Gap's also having some real troubles with some of their providers. I've heard fabric wise, but
the discounts are insane. Like, it's insane. Like, I remember I bought some stuff here at the end of the summer, and I got it 50% off. No, I think it was 70% off, and then I got another 50% off that. Like, I literally bought like 10 items, and it was less than $100. That's in Canadian, and delivered to my house. I mean, that was from Banana Republic, Gap, and whatever, Old Navy. So, you know what I mean? And they're all just tied to each other, so just deliver it to your house. Sold separately, but whatever. You know what I mean? Pretty crazy. Those are heavy discounts. And it's just continue.
Gap back in the day was the first American major retailer to have Kaihara mills for one of their suppliers, which was a phenomenal thing back. It's why Gap actually developed a good reputation in Old Navy as well for their denim way back when. But like I said, that's a long time ago, and that whole game has changed right now because of the water issues.
Well, you got Levi's too, right? Coming back, but the
Well,
denim,
Levi's-
I agree with you. I agree
Levi's-
with you on the denim. Denim's good.
They just picked up the old Vidalia plant. You know, they closed their White Oak plant over in Greensboro, which was their iconic original plant. But they're actually doing a 2/3 less water supply plant in Vidalia, Louisiana right now. I just picked up actually some raws from them. But I've actually gone to a lot of alternatives like banana and a lot of flax linen blends, and hemp is the big thing for denim supply right now. Anyway, sorry.
Interesting. Anybody playing good old Coles? That's another shit stock. I don't really think I need to say very much on that if you know your stuff.
I walked into Kohl's 3 weeks ago, and I don't know. I was there to return some stuff, and the prices in there were just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's going down. I think that I think the Gap's worth more than that piece of shit. Quite honestly. That's my opinion. But what do I know?
Oh, since we have energy guys here, anybody doing plays on Southern with their huge over budget and way late final big reactor built in the U.S.? SO, the ticker. Java, I'm asking you.
No, I did. I'm sorry.
Oh,
SO is the ticker?
Yeah. Man, awesome. Just super late and like 5 million over budget. But yeah, they tanked already, and they're probably going to continue. Sorry, I'm on mute. I didn't realize. Yes, SO is a ticker. Yeah, there was supposed to be a pilot project to try and convince other to do some other ones as well. It's in Georgia, I believe, if I remember correctly. The state, not the country. But SO, they have 4 tickers, so be careful on it. It's the warrants and things, but just SO regularly.
Yeah, I just actually posted the 1 year chart on that just so everyone else can see it. Yeah, it actually looks like it has more room to move down too.
Oh yeah, look at I think Tiger Trades just posted 2 above you. Actually, a link to some of it. But the most recent thing was kind of about a week ago, I guess, was
oh yeah, I see it.
Bloomberg thing on the actual plant and the budget on it. And it was just blown out of whack.
I can't tell, Lorex. You're saying tomorrow Nvidia and Snow? Are you bullish or bearish? What are you on Nvidia? I don't know. I don't think I'm taking any calls this Thursday or Friday. I think I think right before what we got Monday, there's no stocks, right? It's a holiday we just talked about. And I do not have any faith that a debt ceiling is going to be met by Thursday. I genuinely think this whole week has been a fucking giant ass bull trap, if you ask me. Last 2 weeks, week and a half. Thank you, Slut. Yeah, I saw it said Agree Monkey, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's me. Yeah, for the record, I have been short Nvidia. I am definitely negative on my position, so I jumped in on that a while ago. I have 250 puts on Nvidia, so yeah, I have not been happy about that. But for the sake of current Nvidia puts, they are having trouble keeping 315, and I think because they're sitting at a PE of like 180, give or take, I think that is going to be one of the first stocks that when the reckoning comes for the market, I think a lot of people will move out of that quickly, just to bring the PE down. I think, for the record as well, I think Nvidia in general is a good long-term investment. I just think that there's going to be a better purchase price for Nvidia in the near future. I think we're kind of set up like AI stocks are kind of set up like the .com stocks were, where conceptually it's a good idea, but I think too much money is being moved into it too early. Especially pre-recession.
Lowe's cuts full year forecast.
Bitcoin says AI is oversold. Actually, funny, there was an article talking about how AI said that AI stock was oversold.
They're probably plagiarizing.
That is probably it too.
I don't know if anybody follows the whole stacks thing on the AIs that are communicating with each other on the journalism stacks. There's like a whole AI forum where they just communicate with each other now.
No, that's funny. I did see that one article about, I guess, some Texas professor trying to fail a bunch of his students because he plugged in, does this look like you wrote this? And of course the AI said, yes, that looks like something I wrote. And then I guess a student had plugged in the letter that the professor wrote to the students, and the AI also said that it wrote that too.
So it's a glory hog is what you're telling me.
Yeah, if you use AI to try to check to see if it's AI's work, it's not going to work.
It does everything.
AI. Yes, I wrote that. I also wrote Macbeth.
Henry VIII, just because of the exit stage left pursued by a bear. The stage directions.
Stage directions.
The best stage
It
direction
was
ever.
Yogi Bear that said, wasn't it Yogi Bear or was it said, exit, stage left? No, it was a Pink Panther guy. What the hell was his name?
Pink Panther is named.
No.
Panther.
It was like he looked like a Pink Panther or something like that.
Yes, it's called Pink Panther.
No, man, that's
Used to
not
say
it. The
exit
Pink
stage
Panther.
left.
No, you're confusing two completely different cartoons.
Snagglepuss? Is that the name of
Spider-Man?
Tomcat?
No.
What?
Snagglepuss sounds more. Yeah, there you go. Like,
It was Snagglepuss. Yes, I had to Google that shit. There it is. Thank you, Bitcorn. Yes. See, this just goes to show how old I am.
I think the second act for Henry VIII was he was chased by the bear, and at the end of it, the stage direction was exit stage left, pursued by a bear. It's fucking phenomenal.
Hendrix, the 1980s cartoons had no conception of itself. Go watch He-Man. It is surreal, the crap that you could, I don't want to say get away with, but that was just on the TV.
Pepe Le Pew, the fucking rapist. The skunk.
Yeah, what's up?
No, skunk, not skunk.
Wow, Thunder the Barbarian. Jeez.
I was just posting Hong Kong Phooey.
Yes, Hong Kong Phooey.
Which I also post whenever anybody brings up one of those Hong Kong's pump and dump stocks. I just post gifts from Hong Kong Phooey. There's a surprising number of them on Tenor. It's a Hong Kong Phooey chop. What was that one cartoon? Here, I'll just find a GIF of it. Found it.
It's called Dixie today, or UVix or anything?
Street Sharks.
Yeah, I got some UVixy plays. I got, I think, 20 calls.
How far out?
June 16th.
Sweet. I got some January 19th, way apparently in the money 9 longs yesterday in UVix.
Jesus.
Yeah, 470 apiece, I think.
I'm unlocking some people's core memories.
Quarters, it's going to be like 40 to 60 for the VIX.
June 16th. I picked these up, I think about a couple weeks ago, and I like to play about a month and a half out. And I was kind of anticipating 2 major events. 1, the debt ceiling thing, and then 2, the Fed meeting. And I was figuring that one of those 2 would trigger before June 16th.
Definitely. I'm wondering just about the next 2 days what'll go on with it.
Pork chop sandwiches. Oh shit! Kids, get out of here!
I understood that reference.
G.I. Joe.
You can find all of the Darkwing Duck episodes on Disney Plus streaming, which I found the other day, and I was like, Disney owns this.
That's awesome. Yeah, Disney owns that shit.
Dark Crystal, guys. The Fraggle thing. Remember? Or is that too long ago?
Oh, no, I know what you're talking about.
Creepy as fuck.
All about my bills. I actually found a Captain Planet comic in my stash the other day. I was going through stuff that I was looking to sell, and I was sorting out the comics, and I found.
Did everybody get their free comic books on Free Comic Book Day? It was just a few weeks ago.
I actually was sorting through a couple of those too.
That picture of Jack Black. What?
Hey, so about the banks, are they all going back to the moon? Pac West. Fuck.
Yeah, let's take a look at
I
Huntington.
think it's
Bank
super
shares.
premature for those moves, personally.
Huntington's heading back up. Up 10% past week.
Yeah, I was actually looking at. Go ahead.
I mean, all these banks are on sale, basically, right? I mean, if everything's okay, they're going to still get rid of all their bad debt. Someone's buying their bad debt. I mean, for Pac West, they did, and they're going to do it for the others. And they're just going to become just a regular regional bank. They won't probably be as high as they were before, but I don't know, man. I'm confused.
I mean, I still think it's premature. I think if we get this debt ceiling shit figured out quickly enough and it doesn't affect the market, then I definitely think that the 25 basis points are going to go through. I think if the debt ceiling affects the market and we see like a 20% drop or something in fear that we're not going to hit the debt ceiling, then I don't think we do the 25 basis points. Either way, I still think it's premature on bank stocks.
2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, the way they're talking now, they're talking 7% now. They want to get up to. Like, I heard some bullshit talk like that this morning on the talks.
Yeah, it wasn't, didn't we have 7% in the 80s or something?
I remember when I was a young kid, brother, and my mom had an adjustable and she was getting whacked.
All we have to do to get Rita Pump is just officially announce that it's the next meme stock of WallStreetBets and get one of these stupid financial news articles to publish an article saying that.
You listening, Yahoo Finance?
That'd be awesome.
ChatGPT, write a Bloomberg article about Re being the next WallStreetBets super stock to go off.
Actually, I could get Visual Mod to do that in like 2 seconds.
It's almost back up to 39 now, so it's going.
Woo!
Somebody hack all the digital billboards out there for a week.
It dropped again.
You know what they say.
Because you mentioned it here. I feel like the hedge funds have like an AI that scrapes this podcast, and anything that's mentioned, it's like, move against it.
Hedges are fucked, bro.
If by the hedge funds you mean opinion, then yeah, the hedgies are always out to get us.
Oh, does he still work for Citadel?
Does he still work for Citadel?
I don't know. Would you say that the owner of the dark pools and main bad guy works for the company? That's a good question.
All the
And he's
retail
not-
traders are corralled.
He's conveniently not here to defend
Opinion
himself.
is the dark pool.
Listen, Opinion might dress like a janitor, and he might mop the floors, but that's just to deceive you. He owns the company.
That meme plays in my head rent free whenever anybody says like Opinion works for Citadel. Like, you guys are getting paid? Like, what?
Scald, we've all seen his corporate trip to Disney that he paid for after they turned off the buy button. All right, he is the Citadel.
He is the Citadel.
Hashtag not financial advice.
Yeah, that probably wasn't a great plan for him to post that picture because it really fed into the rumor that he was a Citadel employee.
Yeah, I know. How dare he have a regular life? What was he
Right?
thinking?
What was he thinking?
Yeah, Scald, I just posted the news article in the chat.
I see that. Among amateur investors, we've been downgraded from WallStreetBets to amateur investors. Oh, jeez.
No more retail status?
Yeah. I want to read about that.
I'd like to think of it as we've been upgraded to amateurs.
From apes.
From apes, yeah.
I mean, it's only down a penny after having like a mediocre earnings report.
The nice thing about penny stocks are they only have to go up a couple cents for you to get like a 3-bagger.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you look at it that way, it's a great play.
Woohoo! 1,979% on gold 19 puts for this week.
Nice.
Yeah, 32 cents to 155 is where I started selling them. Now I've just got stops in.
Very nice.
Now it'll be nice if Fox crashes.
Oh, should I change the title? Should I change the title from Memes Are Back to Memes Were Back?
Oh.
I'm gonna do it.
Oh look,
I'm sorry,
Citadel
guys.
Look, the Citadel CEO came back to shit all over our meme plays. So funny.
Oh yeah, we didn't throw you under the bus while you were gone. Don't worry.
Okay. Wait, what?
He's like, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that.
Making a mental note. Yeah.
Keep the meme dream alive.
Well, since it's been a while since what's his name? Luce has been around. I wonder what's his place have been doing. Stellantis is down like 10-15%. It's not so bad. Let's look at Nintendo.
Nintendo's up.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Nintendo is.
Yeah, just don't check on his PCT puts.
Oh no.
Or his Nvidia puts.
Nvidia puts.
Yeah,
But
I'm pretty sure Luce had Nvidia puts if I remember correctly.
I need a fact check on this.
Yeah, he and I were talking about it one day. I mean, this is almost a month ago now. Someone was saying about it, and we were just talking about what the PE was at the time and the fact that it's even worse now. I'm sure he's pissed off to all hell.
Market can always stay irrational far longer than you can stay solvent. Never forget this fact.
That is so well put.
Well, we got time on Peer Cycle. Because it's predicted to run out of money in August. So there's still
the market?
No, Peer Cycle. Peer Cycle is going to run out of their last cash on their books in August.
I gotcha.
Well, that's what Luce's math said, but are we positive on that? Because it seems to just keep going up like they've got money to burn.
Well, yeah, they do have money to burn right now. It's not a great environment to get late-stage private equity financing, if you haven't heard. We're sort of in a recession.
Well, I think the bigger issue is he has, if I remember, $5 August puts, and if they're at around $7, they can probably just dilute and still stay above his $5 put price. But I'm hoping that they go under Scald. I'm rooting for y'all. Just I worry that it's high enough that they can dilute and stay above the strike price people are looking at.
Anybody climbing into SOXL or anything right now, guys?
Puts.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't played that one in a while, but whenever it would do like a big gap up, I would do puts on it to
Yeah, I figured after yesterday, probably worthwhile.
catch the inevitable fall on it.
I think this is like the first time like you could go weeklies all through tech for strangles and straddles they pay, or rather for anything that was bidirectional. That's crazy. It's pretty cool.
The hell are you guys posting in the chat? All right.
What the heck is going on in chat? Oh god, nope.
I don't think your filter's working, properly.
Don't scan images, but I guess we should.
Paul, you didn't just say that out loud, did you? We don't scan images. Oh God. Shut down the chat now.
Scan them on the subreddit. You could scan them here. You never know. It's expensive though. Oh, Shipper, nice trades.
Ray's hovering around 38 cents, so there was no humongous drop like everyone predicted.
Telling you guys, LILM, the re of the sky.
Oh yeah, what do they do again? Keep forgetting.
You want me to send you the whole prospectus again? The aircraft, personal aircraft.
Oh right, yeah.
Jets in like a year that they're gonna have, and they're tied in with what is it, Palantir for the horrible stick steering module. This is like their third attempt on it. It's just another shit show thing, but it's been like with Re, it's been 5% plus up pre, and I think it's still going up right now. I was like 2,800% on some calls on it 2 days ago.
Nice.
Not as good as RXRX yesterday, by the way, which actually might be a decent long hold for anybody.
I think it has meme potential. That one LALM is up 6.5% right now.
Would look like what that's on top of. I figured some retracement on it. Actually, I was going to go the opposite direction and short it.
Oh, and their market cap is just under 500 million, so they're close to the threshold.
Yeah, electronic aviation is just a.
Oh, and I was looking at the. I don't know why it doesn't have the other earnings reports, but in the past they like really exceeded expectations.
Manufacturing PMI 48.5 versus 50 estimate. I guess SPY's liking that. Or maybe not.
Any of you guys play the cycle on CME?
No.
It just peaked, is why.
The entire market is having trouble staying green today. Yeah, at Sled Spoiler, I saw that that release by the White House Council of Economic Advisors, the 45%. I've been calling that shit for almost a year, though. I'm sorry, to specify, I was calling the fact that, like, you know, we were looking at a recession that will be the greatest in our lifetime and be close to what the Great Depression was.
They're not going to let it default.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't think that they would let it default, but damn, they're really fucking cutting that shit close.
That's just part of the game. That's what the Freedom Caucus wants, because they're a bunch of nutbags.
Yeah, and that's the one part that makes me, like, if it wasn't the Freedom Caucus, like, involved, I would agree 100% that they're not going to let it default. But with the Freedom Caucus involved, like, I think there's room for at least a 10% chance.
Prediction. It gets close to defaulting. Enough Democrats in Congress agree that they will vote for McCarthy if he gets a deal done. Deal gets done. Freedom Caucus tries to change speaker. Democrats vote for him. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, that's possible.
That's what I ultimately see happening. The Freedom Caucus is like, we'll vote you out, McCarthy, and then the Democrats say, we'll vote you in. And there's enough of us to keep you around if you just pass the debt ceiling. It's probably how it ends.
Yeah, I when I was reading, I was looking at something like that, but I mean, that still all drives it. I mean, the other option that I was thinking is that they get it done, but they get it done like on June 2nd. Like everything like compiles on June 2nd, which means we fear a default because let's say, I mean, the technical default date isn't until June 8th, right? So we're going to start hearing more about that, but that means that we're going to run up until June 2nd or something like that and get all of what you said done, but that still trips the market 20 to 30%.
I think it gets done. I think there's a legitimate reason to be concerned, but I think it ultimately gets done. I also think this is one of the stupidest things in the world, but that's a whole nother place.
But they do this
I agree with
every time. They just drag their feet, wait until the last minute, and then get something passed. It's always one or two things holding it up. I don't think there's anything to worry about. They'll get it done.
Yeah, and Steiper has a good point that I was going to say a second ago too, is that the House does need 3 days to review the bill, and McCarthy said that he will not waive that 3-day waiver.
Look, having the nation default would be an absolute catastrophe and cause so many problems, which I hope they wouldn't allow to happen. And while there are some people I think crazy enough to do it, I want to believe that there aren't enough crazies to actually make it a thing.
No, but so what I think is actually happening is, like, you know, obviously politicians are playing their fucking game. But all of the mega donors, once I think it was CNN or something that released an article yesterday stating, I might even still have it, that the debt ceiling issue may not get solved until the markets have a drastic pullback. So this way, you know, the mega donors are like, hey man, you're fucking with my money a little too much. And it made a really good point, you know?
It's such a stupid issue. Like the dumbest political issue.
It is, especially considering the fact that, you know, we're already talking about something that was agreed upon and passed. You know, the money has already been spent, and it's literally boiled down to, well, yeah, you know, the House already voted on it and agreed upon it or whatever, and that money has been spent, but now we don't want to pay for it until you cut spending. That doesn't make any sense. It's you paid the bill. You ate the fucking steak, pay for the fucking steak. We're not cutting deals on dessert,
I've said this before, but it's literally going to a restaurant with 12 of your friends, ordering the most expensive steak on the menu, and then refusing to pay the bill because your steak is too expensive.
100%. Yeah, that's
But
100%.
that makes sense.
What do you mean
My
by
other
the money's
thought
been
behind...
spent?
Go ahead.
What do you mean by the money's been spent? I'm sorry.
So the debt ceiling, the argument about all of this is that the money has already been spent. Like, we have already spent that money, and the question is whether or not to pay the bill on that. They're trying to argue future spending and they're using future spending as a bargaining chip to paying existing bills that are already due. It's like you and your wife and your wife's boyfriend sitting around in a circle talking about the credit card statement and about the things that you spent last month already on the credit card statement. And your wife's boyfriend is like, no, we're not going to pay for our hotel stays until you agree to cut more out of your gaming budget next month, but we've already stayed at the hotel last month.
Are they debating the budget for next year?
Well, they're debating cuts for this current year.
So from my understanding is that the federal fiscal year ends on May 31st, and the new year begins on June 1st. That's why June 1st.
But the part that they're debating is they're trying to raise the debt ceiling for paying their current bills, as in like what's coming up, the stuff that's already due, the stuff that they already spent.
That's not my understanding of it. I mean, my understanding is that, as far as I understand it, the government cannot spend any money unless they have a budget in place to spend that money. So
Correct, and that's already been spent. Like that budget already passed. It's already been spent. They have to pay the people their loans that America owns. They have to pay that, and that's what the Republicans are saying. We're saying basically we're not going to pay the bills that are already due unless you make future cuts for the next year.
Ah, okay.
Bro, I think I'm gonna buy this ROG Ally thing. This thing is dope.
Yeah, it looked really nice.
I like how you can plug it into your television and use it as a gaming PC.
It all makes
like
sense.
a Nintendo Switch.
Yep, except
What is the interface? Mini HDMI?
yeah, it is.
Sick.
Why doesn't WallStreetBets have a YouTube channel? I thought it did. Oh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
I'm thinking we're live on it right now, actually.
Yeah, I don't know what time he cuts it off, if he cuts it off at 10 or 11.
Freshworks CEO says that using ChatGPT cuts the time it takes for coding tasks from 9 weeks down to just days. Well, Freshworks, way to send out a message to all the gray hats and black hat hackers out there that your code is probably dog shit for security. That's my biggest problem with ChatGPT. Not that the people are like, oh, it can't write code. That's not entirely true. I think it can write some pretty decent code. It can't write secure code. That's where it sort of falls off the cliff.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you look at the art and the fact that something standard or sub poorly prompted, you get people with like 10 fingers. If something, or I'm sorry, not 10 fingers on one hand. from a poor prompt, that still requires the correct prompt interface, and it's the same exact concept with coding. You fuck up that prompt and you forget something critical in trying to get that code, and you're going to end up with a program with 10 fingers on one hand.
Oh my god, why didn't I think of this? Become a hotel influencer and then stay at hotels for free. I should have thought of that. You know?
I gotta look into that.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty sweet side hustle.
Bro, who took the time to add all these stickers to the WallStreetBets server? There's so many. And like 75% of them are Pepe's. There's so many Pepe's.
Hey, good morning. Wanted to talk about the Star Wars Hotel going down finally. Looks like they have just eaten their loss on that. And also at the Cannes Movie Festival, Indiana 5 has been reviewed. And it's brutal, man.
What is it?
The Indiana Jones 5. I was actually going to bring that up earlier. That's funny.
The Cannes Film Festival's going on, and they had the previews and all the critics have given their reviews, and it's not good. So
I
those
heard
Disney
that-
books should start printing.
Yeah, you said Indiana Jones was going to be a legendary dumpster fire, and looks like you were right.
Oh, it is not just the movie's content, but also the budget, like the amount of overspending that's been going on, the amount of reshoots. They had to, like, John Williams is doing the score. They had to pull him back in like three times now to rescore the movie because they kept on adding scenes. They every day, man, every day. Disney can't stop fucking up. So me and Scald, we're gonna go get matching t-shirts and we're gonna start a gang and we're gonna call ourselves the Rat Fuckers. Okay. Anyway, I gotta go to work. Talk to you guys later.
See you, slut. Yeah, actually, I think the Star Wars closing is actually a good thing because it was a high cost, and I think that is a recessionary move where they don't think there's going to be excessive money out there in travel spending like there was the last few years. So I think they're really just trying to cut down on things that unnecessarily are expensive. As far as the Indiana Jones 5, I heard a lot about the de-aging, which I think that's their second de-aging thing, because I know they used de-aging in the Tron sequel, and as good as that movie was, I know that the largest critique about it was the de-aging.
One review said there are needs being met here, but they aren't storytelling so much as stoking the fan base and meeting bottom lines. Jesus. Brutal. Just the look on Harrison Ford's face when the reviews were coming in. It's his final performance as well. Like, as an actor.
His final performance, or is his final performance as Indiana Jones?
No, like, after this, he's done acting.
That sucks for him, man. Good
Yeah.
actor, and goes on that note. That really does suck for him. I don't know. In his defense, too, I mean, like, critics honestly suck. And, I mean, I'm not saying that it's good or bad. I'm going to walk into it with an open mind. I stopped listening to critics and watching previews a long time ago. I figured if I went in with zero expectations, then, you know, I can be either pleasantly surprised or pleasantly disappointed either way.
Yeah. WallStreetBets Made Me Do It has a pretty interesting point. Movies today are all remakes for older generations because producers know that current generations won't sit for 2 hours to watch anything. Tell me about it. I was like watching Ant-Man Quantumania, and like halfway through it, I started checking my phone. I'm like, is this only halfway over? It's a 2-hour movie.
Come up with some good brand new material and people will sit through it again. I mean, look at Game of Thrones. If people sat through Game of Thrones, no problem. Sure, that's not like a movie and stuff like that, but I think people need to come up with new content before you start complaining about the remaking.
I think the other key is full frontal. I think that's part of the magic of Game of Thrones.
Have you guys seen the movie The Covenant? That's a really good new one. It's about the Iraq War.
Oh, dope.
It's sick. It's about this dude who has this translator who helps his squad, and then he loses the translator. The translator basically gets kidnapped. The main character in the movie is having this like PTSD issues because he left the guy who helped him out and saved his life in Iraq, and the Taliban's after him and everything. And then the movie's about him basically going back and saving a friend because his wife is like, you need to go save that man and come back alive to the children. It's pretty corny. I mean, it's super obvious, but it was a great. It takes place in like 2001.
Pretty dope. I like historic movies set when I was alive. It makes me feel young.
Yeah, I think Hollywood has gotten a lot like mainstream investing, and the fact that we just want to put money into the cash cows because they already exist, so they're cheaper than starting up something new. I mean, we can't even get a brand new generation of actors, let alone new scripts.
No, agreed. I mean, I tried to watch the Ant-Man sequel literally 3 times, and I never made it past like 30 minutes. It's just all those Marvel movies are like the same fucking movie, the same corny over and over again.
They're so dope. I love them. It's like used to when I was learning how to program in college, which was a long, long, long time ago. My roommate would always have the Harry Potter movies playing in the background. And now, unfortunately, if I want to get any coding done, I pretty much have to have the soundtrack playing in the background. It's awful. But like for me, that's Marvel movies. They're good background noise, man, because they're so consistent.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really good Marvel movies.
See, so speaking of Harry Potter,
What was that? Someone saying something. I didn't hear him. Something about Harry Potter. Newer Marvel movies aren't as good as the Infinity Saga. Well, that's so true, man. I mean, Thanos is like one of Marvel's most iconic villains. And like the way that they're doing Kang, like it's true to the comics, but I don't know if he has the same level of appeal as Thanos does.
I mean, I think the Marvel and the Star Wars are both in the same aspect where they're not waiting long enough to release the next. They're just trying to churn and burn through these things as opposed to build up the want for the next movie. And I'm sorry,
No.
I think I got cut off with the Harry Potter thing. I think the Harry Potter thing, I'm actually kind of glad they're remaking it because I think the original movies, in comparison to the book, were all, chopped up and, done specifically for Hollywood. I'm kind of glad they're actually taking their time and making a whole series. So that's one of the few remakes I'm looking forward to.
They're making the Star Wars Harry Potter movies.
No, they're making a Harry Potter series. It's HBO just signed on with it 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes remakes are good. The new Batman movie surprised me. I thought it was going to be bad and corny, but I liked it, to be honest. Not the Matt Damon one. There's another one, most recent one, the newest one. By the way, if you guys want an easy play, you could short Toyota down to like 130 to 133. Buy like a 135, 137 short.
Why was it dumping yesterday? Like
why short Toyota? I missed that.
Yeah, why?
Just because that's normal trading range. I mean, look at it. Throughout the entire year, it hasn't been able to break 142, and it doesn't go below 134. So. And it's just a standard deviation. So like 142 got it to like 2 standard deviations oversold. As soon as it hit that 2% mark, it just turned around and started running back. So, I just play basically mean reversion on every single fucking stock. All the other bullshit is just like, it's just capital flows.
No, I'm not gonna lie. That's actually a lot of my investing is mean and standard deviation. I've just been fucking burnt to hell on that. I mean, using Nvidia as a perfect example, I had 250 puts on that, and that bitch just ran the fuck away from me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't use you can use mean reversion on highly volatile shit, but try day trading Bitcoin or fucking any crypto, and you're gonna realize you really can't use mean reversion on anything with high volatility.
Eventually, like the companies have to produce earnings that reflect their PE ratio, but I think the problem is you can't predict when that will happen. So, I mean, it has to come back to reality at some point, though.
No, I could not have put that better.
Now that we're on the topic of cars, I'm looking at GM $35 calls for June 16th and then $40 calls for September. Just because it stays in that 30 to 40 range and it's starting to work its way back up.
135 puts on Toyota.
You guys bullish on GM? I sold all my Ford stock.
I'm not bullish. I'm not bullish on GM at all. It's just even if you just take out the COVID year, Like they've always been in a $30 to $40 range. They go down to 30, they go right back up to 40, 41, and go back down to 30, and then right back up to 40, 41. So they're at $33 right now. I'm going to take some long dated calls, 35 in June, and then 40 in September. Hopefully get paid out early, close them, and then go right back into puts.
Nice.
Speaking of standard deviation, I have 175 puts on Apple right now, but expiry in November.
Yeah, I remember you buying those, man. I was all locked up in a bunch of trades, and I was like, damn, I want that so bad.
Fuck, tell me about it. I was locked up in shit when GameStop was at like $18 now. I don't even know if I want to get in or not. Earnings is in like 1 week, so that might be over.
Damn, it's already been that long. Holy shit, time's flying. I know Hardy usually plays that earnings call when they release it, just buying calls and puts and then letting IV crank up, selling out. But I mean, if they report positive earnings, man, 2 quarters in a row.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I might do that. I don't know. We'll see.
You ever misplace something and you know that you knew where you left it, like generally, and you can't find that bitch for like a week? Well, I just found something that I misplaced like a week ago, and it's been driving me nuts.
I bet you it was under something.
If you could go without a week with that item, it's probably not that important. But
it is important. It was the oil for my lawnmower, and like I was doing a oil change, and I had physically already drained it, and my grass is getting too long. But I was like, where the hell is this damn oil? I know I bought it.
How the hell do you misplace that?
It was on a shelf in a bag, and my garage is a disaster right now, so that's how I misplaced it.
No, I get that, man. We just bought a house, and our settlement is in June, and then we're getting married in July. Dude, everything's everywhere, dude. I can't even keep my head up.
Congratulations.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see how everything goes.
All right, man. Well, good luck to you, though.
No, it's all good things. It's just trying to pack everything up and like figuring out what we need, but we can't spend anything because we're in the underwriting process, and like we got to pay for a bunch of shit for the wedding. So it's like the first time in my life I called my mom to put it on her card. She's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? I thought you had money." I'm like,
"Jeez." Hey, can I be nosy? What did you get for an interest rate on the house?
So I had 5.9. But they gave us credits if we took a 6.2, which with the monthly payment only being a $20 separation, the amount of money we got back taking a 6.2 wouldn't cross losing money until 5 years. So our goal is to refinance in like 3.5 and we save about three grand. It's weird how it all worked out, but I mean, I don't carry debt, so.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm a firm believer against debt as well too. I don't even trade on margin.
That, but like, also if they're gonna make you buy down a rate, right? And 5.9, yeah, it's realistic. That's where it should be, but the chance that they could come lower, I can always refinance back into that. So it's like, why spend the money to buy it down if I don't even want to be there? If they're gonna pay me to take something that's 0.3% higher, I'll take it.
I mean, for the person that says you're foolish if you don't use your debt to your advantage, I don't, but I'm also debt free. So, and I'm $70,000 away from paying for off my house. So, I mean, I'm not foolish. I'm close to. I'm the exact opposite of foolish. I've spent wisely and I've invested wisely. So, I mean, I've seen too many people chase that using debt as an advantage part and get caught up in it for me to be like, you know what? That's more risk than I want to take. I'd rather have less return, because I'm using what I actually have, and I've built a solid capital. So no, I'm not. I don't consider myself foolish. I consider myself debt free and happy.
And all you need is one big Nvidia drop and Apple drop, and you pay your house off.
Yes, yeah, I have thought of that.
And using debt to your advantage is the reason why we're in $1 trillion worth of credit card debt right now.
Exactly. To be fair, though, I did actually just finance, so I was completely debt free. I'd finished paying off my debt this year, and I was very, very happy about that. But I had to buy not one, but 2 air conditioners, a total of $23,000, and I ended up having to take a home equity loan out. So.
I mean, it's very different when you're using debt to finance capital assets that are going to help you, right? Like having a working air conditioner in a home probably appreciates the value of the house, I would imagine.
No,
yeah. I mean, I'm also in Florida
it's very
too,
different
man.
than putting your Starbucks on a credit card. That's probably not going to be a thing that you're going to get a return on. Unless you do a lot of extra work on coffee, in which case, good for you.
Yeah, I know that you're not just talking about credit card debt, man, but I'm just talking about any debt. I'd rather have no debt whatsoever, and it like I said, it works for me. If the opposite works for you, that's amazing. I'm happy for you. But that's the beautiful thing is that there is no one solution that fits all. We got to make what works for each of us work, and you have the solution that works for you. I have the solution that works for me. So I, meanwhile, haven't had a job since 2020, and I'm okay with that, because I don't have debt and I'm making enough money that I don't need to go work for anyone.
The problem is people misuse debt. They use it to buy things that don't pay them. You don't ever use debt to buy something that doesn't pay you to own it. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just save the money and buy it? Obviously there's extenuating circumstances. You need AC in the summer. You got to get AC. I get that. But I mean, there are reasons to buy or use debt and leverage yourself to the good.
I think when it comes to education and housing, that's the best way to use debt to your advantage. But even with buying a car, I would prefer to get a used one with cash than finance one because it's a depreciating asset.
Yeah, funny to see that.
That's another excellent example. Through my entire life, I only paid no more than $10,000 for a car. I did finance those cars, but I paid every single one of those cars off within 3 years. My most recent car I bought in 2019, which was a 2017 Kia Optima Hybrid, actually appreciated in value, as everyone knows, the whole used car lot market. And I paid that off, and that was actually $14,000. That was the very first car that I spent that was more than 10 grand. Now, meanwhile, you take another friend of mine who just leased a BMW. I mean, think about the amount of money that's getting used, and it's people, I think, chase these luxuries as opposed to let me buy what I need and then invest the rest.
I just wanted to add something really quickly. So, a car is actually technically not an asset unless you have multiple vehicles per household. Just for the record, so it's not even a depreciating asset. It's just depreciating debt. In fact, Scald, on the point of what you just said, one of the craziest things that I ever witnessed was I had two friends from Europe visit America for a road trip, and they're both entrepreneurs in the tech sector from Ireland. And what they did was they bought a $800 to $1,200 car that was scrap value, basically. Drove it till it broke down in any city, and then scrapped it, bought another one of that value, and kept doing that the entire trip. It was great.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so a trick is actually buying two cars, even if it's like a junk or something like that, just so that you actually have an asset. If you do actually have debt on one of your vehicles, it's always best to maintain two if you can, and just a kind of odd thing with that. You can also buy the second car and use it as a hedging asset if you actually declare it that day with a tax attorney.
Bro, I took out a loan on my car at a 2.9% interest rate. It was dope. I had bought my car cash, and then during COVID, they were just giving away loans. And I'm like, bro, I'm not going to say no to money at a 2% interest rate, 2.9% interest rate, 3%.
That's great.
Fucking nuts, dude. That's nuts. I don't even know what a car loan is nowadays. I mean, I normally buy my cars cash, but I took out a loan on it because the money was just so cheap during COVID. It was so cheap.
Yeah, it's like 5 to 8% with good credit now. It's crazy. My first car loan was like 2.5% with a credit union. Nowadays they're all trying to give me like 12 and 13. But it's interesting. Yeah, cars are a weird one. Cars are can either lose you a lot of money or they can make you a lot of money. For example, like G63 is going for 80 grand out here, but you can find them all day long on like Auto Trader for like 40 grand. So if you got a spare 40 grand sitting around, buy a G-Wagon and drive it to Seattle and sell it.
Is that like car arbitrage?
Arbitrage.
Yeah, it's just market arbitrage.
Arbitrage.
So there's I'm dropping the most recent Knight Frank in the chat for anybody who's kind of intrigued by alternative asset performance. There's a great story behind classic car scene though. Recently there's a guy who was just an insurance guy, really young actually, out of like the Midwest, who just blew up the entire Carmel coast for the car scene and what he's been able to get for assets. It's totally crazy. I'll see if I can find a quick little write-up on him to show you all.
Yeah, that's where Carvana fucked up. They should have bought more G-Wagons.
Yes, that, and actually, the AMG package actually is going for almost 20,000 more. Last one I got rid of, but also if anybody can find them, the last year of the Defender 90s and 110s in good condition are amazing in the US, and they suck to drive because it's like 10 miles per gallon. But yeah, the 95 with the manual transmission goes for like a 30,000 premium over what it was new.
Aren't like diesel pickup trucks, aren't those appreciating pretty well still? I mean, I know that car prices have gone down in the past year, but they're still hard to find.
We're messed up as hell. There's a huge thing actually throughout the leisure class in Europe, which is refurbishing old American SUVs to cherry and beyond condition for huge amounts of money. It's kind of interesting, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the G550 that was the 40 and 80 grand arbitrage. The G63 AMG was $100,000 on Auto Trader and 160 average price around here. So that's a $60,000 arbitrage.
Yeah, I think I was 96 and 155 sale on it 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, vintage Porsches, especially air cooled, are also an amazing gain in value for anybody who's into that. And Volkswagen Carmen Gias, oddly enough, for convertibles.
None of the teenagers listening to us right now. Holy shit! I can make 20 grand in a week buying and selling a car.
Oh, dude, no. Here's the play for them. Okay, so if you have an overprivileged white prep school nearby you, you wait until like graduation time. You buy a salvage title vehicle, like a late model Ford F-150 or something like that that's been severely damaged. You repair it for like $4,000 at auction. You then basically jack it up, lift it, put on an exhaust and tint whatever the hell you want to do, make it aesthetically pleasing, and put it right outside the school and put like a $10,000 plus price tag on it. And I guarantee you it'll hit.
The salvage title. Why'd you have to give him the salvage title?
Well, because that's 2,000 to 4,000 and pick up for auction, you know, and you can
Yeah,
easily get,
for sure. And those auctions are open to the public. Yeah.
especially now with the new Mexican importation exportation laws on used vehicles, they're opening up really bigly.
Well, guys, I missed the movie talk, even though I've been in the business for 25 years, but I'm going to talk about new and you again. I think it may hit 7th today. We'll see what goes on, but it's been moving up and up and up every single day, I don't know, for the last week or more. Thank you. And I thought Shia LaBeouf was the next Indiana Jones.
There you guys go for the Carmel Classic. And
The future is female, my friend. It's some random woman.
Correct. You know, I'll be doing a movie. We know it's going to be a bomb, but it doesn't matter because we can tell because we get paid. We don't get pieces. You know, the director gets pieces. You know, the actor gets pieces. We don't. We get a check, and it's a nice check. So everybody gets paid at the end of the day. So we're like, and some of the movies I thought were going to bomb were Oscar winners. So it doesn't always work, but most of the time we know.
Time to go get my McDonald's coffee, boys. Hopefully they don't spit in it.
anybody playing shuttle, maybe time to start setting a stop loss. It's still going up, but 115 now. %. Talking about what? 12 waffles? Slut about what? The Brazilian thing or new? All right. So Slut Spoiler wants to know who is talking about new. NU, the ticker.
That was okay, Mongoose. Well, I gotta get ready. I'll see y'all later.
Arrivederci.
Later, man. Well, that's it for me, boys. Have a good one.
He's probably just waking up now. It's way too early for bourbon. Slut, do you not speak anymore publicly? Hey, Mongoose, if you can hear right now, Slut is requesting you to tell more Hollywood tales. Anyone try that Yelp play for the, I guess it went up a little bit. Slut, you happen to look at Rick's at all today? Or the last 2 days? Told you when it hits 74, watch it. Yeah, shipping's definitely going to be a dump. Definitely. Scald actually got some great info on it yesterday, but I think he said September perhaps is when the shipping industry is considering a recession. Maybe he said October. But yeah, shipping numbers came out yesterday. What the fact? It's a very so personally, I stopped selling contracts on it about 3 months ago. I was probably a little too soon. I expect from 74 back up to probably 79, 82, and then if we hit recession, I expect 90s again. Same with anything that's like that is basically huge margin on booze. But I talked about it at length. I think you were there. Cheap seats are $14 a beer for even the urban nightclubs, and for the more elite ones, you're looking like 19 to 23, and I'm talking for a domestic long neck, and so that tends to pump then. But the best thing to do probably if you're interested in it is to listen to last quarter's to Eric on the call. And he'll explain the pivot basically from the restaurants to the back to the titty bars, and that's basically what we're looking at for the future. And then the consolidation basically with club ownership, with a lot of the older guys retiring now. So Rick's is buying up a lot of the private clubs again. They picked up 56 in the last couple of years now. I can't remember how many this year. But yeah, option activity is really only insiders for the most part on it, just moving about, or it had been traditionally. But it's something you can definitely kind of wheel or turn once you get into it. Crazy, by not doing anything besides taking people's money is what Zim does, I believe. Oh yes, it does very well when times are bad. Yeah, always trust boobs and brown liquor when times are bad, and tobacco companies too, actually, but maybe not anymore with that one. The only thing that throws them off is, there have been in the past, not in the last 20 years or so, but there was an awful lawsuit over a very famous surgeon having his back broken by an entertainer doing a cartwheel onto him, and that was a very huge payout at one time. But things like that won't go on the PPI TDA are for the books, for the regular recurrence. You got to watch out for it, but that's about it.
I'm looking at 416 spy puts. If we keep going down a little bit more, 0 DT.
Oh yeah. Hey. I'm eking out 24-15s from yesterday still. That never quite got there yesterday. That expired today. I might have to kind of doctor that up a little bit because they're not looking too pretty. So your 416s might do well.
We get down a little bit more in a couple minutes. Close out the 10-minute candle. A little negative. I'll be happy. But I like taking 20 to 50% and then moving to a different trade.
I understand. My spies are just hedges pretty much, or trim.
Yeah.
I got a pretty long position for Condor on SPX. That's still way out. That I tend to hedge with daily.
Yeah, when I was younger, I'd always be like, "Oh, that's a 5-bagger. That's great," and then I'd keep it, thinking it would go more, and somehow I'd end up losing money. So now I'm like, "Fuck that! I'll just take my profit, leave a couple runners, and if they go to zero, they go to zero." At least I made something.
Well, that's why Hardy's method of the half on a double is absolutely phenomenal. You know, taking multiples of 2 shares, always, and then whenever you hit your entry point, sell off one and hold the other as a free roll. But and you can keep having and halving if you have more than 2. You know.
Hell, sometimes I buy 4 and then sell at 25%.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever the break even is. Just keep one, or I mean, 4
Yeah,
is
that's
just
exactly the way to go. Is just free roll that. No, that's the best that's the best management for it possible. Definitely.
But yeah, I'm going to see if GM pulls back throughout the day, but I'm going to pull the trigger on June 16, $35 calls, and then September, $40 calls, just because the trade's in that little cycle. So.
Oddly, SPY's moving today more than everything. It's weird. It is weird. Wall of Junk. The consensus around here, I believe, is sell the contract. Typically, however, shit happens sometimes. So you know, what's the rule is always only buy on things that you actually want to hold. Not as much as only sell on things you want to hold, but typically selling the contract. However, there are situations personally where I prefer shares on the exercise with things, but I don't think many people around here do. Actually, our options, the Reddit board their FAQ has a great debate on that ongoing that Papa Charlie did, who's phenomenal with that. Actually, you check them. Yeah, Decibel. I don't want to speak for him. Part of the reason for the approach is I'm almost certain because of the binomial plays. Yeah, how it's based upon the max in the cross, the delta neutral cross in the gamma max for that huge oompha. Yeah, I don't think that he would traditionally do that on other things all the time, but.
I believe half on a double is just, it's a mindset, right? If not everything's going to go up 100%, but if you have, let's say you have 4 contracts and the 3 contracts cover your 1, you can let free run. Take the 3 at profit and let the free run go. And then whatever it closes at, that's your profit. The half on the double is a mindset that it's just easy to, if you buy 2 contracts and it goes up 100%, you can take 1 and have a free run. It's really take it where you feel comfortable, just to cover your standing share, your standing leg.
Just ideally have an exit in mind, both positive and negative. But as far as like Hardy's HOAD, I think his premise, and I don't want to speak for him whatsoever, but I think part of the reason why it applies so well with his moves typically is because they're the delta neutral crosses and the gamma max, where you get huge boosts on the ticker, and he's doing their binomial play, so he's planning for that 200%. You know, that's why that choice of strikes. It's all about what your strategy is for your entry and for your exit when it comes down to it. But if you're only going to enter and exit things at 200% because you can find the perfect plays for it, hey, you know, then rock that shit all day fucking long.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
but yeah, some people take 10%, some people take 15, some people take 50, some do 100. Hell, you know, I mean,
just don't let it green trade turn red. Just don't do it.
Word is born.
I do like his website though. How you can search any ticker in there and it gives you kind of like a guidance, not a guidance, but kind of where the price is at. Of course, news is going to move something, but I always double check before I get into calls and puts, unless I think something's coming as far as the news out, or if I just have a feeling on something. Like, I love Pepsi, the company. And anytime I see a Pepsi truck or like their facilities, because I drive everywhere, I always want to just go buy $200 long dated calls because they're not going anywhere.
and only a matter of time before they go up. So.
Helpful. I'm trying to see. I see the brindling, but I can't tell what Cane Corso or what you got there for your dog. It's not a Malinois. It's Cane Corso.
It's on paper, it's a boxer surprise, so I can live anywhere. However, it's a pit bull Malinois mix.
Oh, interesting.
And I don't want to know how they made it because it was probably in a dogfight.
A beast.
Yeah, man, she's a little girl, but if she don't like you, she lets you know. Yeah, decibel, but he's playing off Gamma Max and Delta Neutral. So a lot of the times when the stock hits that, it's probably coming down more than a 300% move in an options trade. So it's also a way to recoup your initial investment. So even if it does go to zero, you're not losing money over the long term. If you want to take all at 100% or 200% or whatever, take them. But it's just a way to free run in case there's a larger either downfall or upfall in the stock, depending on which way you're playing. And by no means are all those stocks going up 200% to cover your legs. Take where you feel comfortable and profit. Don't get greedy, because then you'll have nothing.
Minus your premium paid, wall of junk. Minus your premium paid. And fees.
There's a better picture in the chat, Nervous.
Man, beautiful coloring. Man, yeah, brindling is great.
That is a pretty dog.
We have a storm door, and when the kids come running through like the front yard in our neighborhood, she'll come try to bust through the storm door to get them because they're like right up on the door.
And one of the neighbor's parents came over like, "Your dog's very aggressive." I was like, "Tell your kids to stay off my lawn." Speaking of animals, I'm going to look into Chewy this afternoon and see if we can't find a play there, because I got to buy more dog food. So I know they're getting my money.
They got a lot of people's during the COVID duration there. I feel like there's a lot of downhill on a lot of the pet retail, but maybe not. Maybe not. Somebody who's knows better.
Yeah and no. I know some of the PetSmarts all have their grooming center, which have raised prices to hedge some of that. But I'll look into some other things. And they raised their training center costs, which I would never use a PetSmart trainer because they're like people that just get off the couch and do it. If anything, if you're sending your dog away to training, they're probably getting a great education from the person who's doing it. But once they get home, they don't listen to you. The trainer should train you to train your dog. That's how I think about it. But teach your own.
No, I totally understand. Yeah, mine had a 30 days she had to be away from me, and at a 26-acre 2-lake retreat by these people who only train one dog at a time, and then they bring you for a week to kind of to get you. That breaks all the bad habits, but yeah, I mean it's all very breed specific too. I met this dude who was an old SAS guy who trains only Malinois. And man, one of the coolest training facilities I've ever seen out in the middle of the Mississippi Delta. Those things can jump.
Yeah, so when I first got her, I was in an apartment and I knew I was moving, but I took her to the dog park and she jumped over like the 3.5-foot fence and went chasing after a squirrel, and I was like, "Fuck!"
Man, I mean, the Dutches can get like over 12 feet of air. It's crazy, man.
Oh, and don't put a tree near them either, because they'll run up the side of the tree and then jump to where they need to go. I mean, they're just insanely athletic.
Squirrel! Squirrel!
back to Pepsi, I'm looking at the August 18th strike, 195 and 190 call. I'm going to see if it continues to dip over the week, and I might hop in there. The 195 is at 190 a contract, $1.90 a contract, with a 5-cent spread. So I love Pepsi.
Huh. Interesting. Craig from my yard people are here. I'll try and help you out if no one else jumps in right now. Just tell me if it's too loud in the background with the help cutting the lawn. So deep in the money, I'm assuming you mean buying them. It basically is a lazy hedge in some ways. You're mitigating a decent amount of both your delta and gamma risk depending on how close you are in or out and how long. So basically, you don't have that hold huge stomp on you coming out of it is the easiest way to put it. But it matters how your length of time. I mean, because you still have to theta cover a lot of times. But deep in the money typically is better in a lot of cases with some length of time as long as you mitigate your theta. Sorry, they're getting loud right now. They're under my balcony. Yeah.
A lot of big money does deep in the money calls, either hedge a position or just to have it move. They know a move's coming. I know Nancy only trades deep in the money calls.
Greg, if you look up delta hedging and gamma scalping, you'll see what you will need to do if you're not going to go in the money for things that have a decent expiry out for you in order to maintain their value with theta decay and with any small moves one way or another. But it's usually, and this is what institutions do and professional traders, but it is resource heavy is the only thing. But it's fun and you'll learn a lot if you do it. I highly recommend going on the Option Industry Council website, OIC, which you can find from the CBOE website as well for the best on that. But again, our options. And also, on that note, Papa Charlie actually is really good at mitigation. They're getting too fucking loud. Craig, check out that link really quickly. If you don't use option strat, just to visualize your strategies, I'd recommend it. And basically with that, try something that's adapt the strike to be in the money and out of the money, and look at it at the total end of the contract run to see kind of what goes on, and that'll kind of help you visualize it a little bit. But the app is phenomenal for quick little draws through because of the scrolling effect for it. There's also optionsprofitcalculator.com, and if you're more into data, then go with the actual CBOE calculator on their website.
That too, if you want to get into options, I highly recommend making a paper account first and messing around with fake money so you don't lose all your real money.
But start all. I mean, the best way to start. I think somebody said this last week too. The best way to start is find a stock you really want to buy long, especially coming up, and sell a put on it, basically. And you'll learn all you can about that. Just make sure to sell at the strike price that you want to pay for it eventually for your cost basis. But that'll teach you the most about options possible to start off with. Much better than starting with buying. Just make sure you want to own 100 shares.
Hell yeah, man. I just got a Pottery Barn couch for free. Puts on them.
Super heats.
No. I'm in this like community group, and one of our neighbors is moving, and he said it won't fit in their new space. So it's the first one to reply, gets it for free. So I was like, okay. I've sat on it before. It's comfy as hell. Just needs a little cleaning, but
so
I can't handle.
You have built-in labor with your children, I assume, because from what you said earlier. You know, a really fun thing to teach them is Craigslist arbitrage. So you find as many free leather couches as possible, and then you have them cut them up and make coasters and things to sell on Etsy and see how much money they can make for you.
No, I don't have kids. I have a fiance though, and she can work.
I thought it was you earlier who mentioned something about. Oh, you said the neighbor's kids. That's right.
Oh yeah, no, fuck the neighbor's kids, man. They're devils. I'm just trying to smoke weed outside, and they keep telling on me.
Hey guys, NU Holdings just hit 7, but I love new, so sorry.
Wait, Mongoose.
Don't apologize about that, man.
Mongoose,
yeah, NU, yeah, it's been huge last week.
Don't dip out because Slut Spoiler actually wanted to hear you talk. He's not on stage right now, but let me ping him. He wanted to he'll probably show right up. Give him a second, but yeah, hang out for a minute because he wanted to hear you talk about some Hollywood things. I think he'll probably prompt you in chat.
Oh, right on, man. That's fine. That's fine.
I think you wanted to also talk about new maybe a little bit. See if
I've been with that stock for beginning like 10. I mean, I'm up because I've been cost averaging, but it's rocking. Yeah, I'll talk about movies. It's been 28 years in the biz, man. I mean, more than that. I did Titanic. I mean, I'm pretty a long time in that biz. Actually, 30 plus years.
Those those SAG royalty checks are nice, huh?
Actually, buddy, I'm with IATSE. It's
really?
The symbol at the end. We do production design, the whole thing from behind camera, production design, costuming, props, set dressing, construction, grips, all that jive. It's the symbol you see at every TV show and movie. It looks like a fireman symbol with IA in the middle. Yeah, that's what I deal with. We get a huge hourly and we get great bennies, and we work 14-hour days for 4 or 5 months.
Oh yeah, it's like man, like hitch work almost, and just as wild. I'm sure.
Yeah, Titanic was one of the movies that we did that I was watching the thing and going, oh, it's going to be okay. But back in the days, they Da Vinci'd the whole thing, colored. So Cameron it came out, it was made and it didn't come out for like 2 years later back then. Now it takes no time. But it was 2 years later, it came out and everything was colorized, was Da Vinci'd, and it was gorgeous. And it did well. It looked beautiful. But we really looked at it kind of going, this is nice, but so little do I know sometimes.
So let's talk you in the text chat.
What was that?
Slut Spoilers taunting you in the text chat. I think he's gonna say what he wanted to hear. Yeah, he's writing you right now. He's just not adding you for some reason. Come on, slut.
Is he trying to get on stage?
I think he said he was at work, but I'm also pretty
okay.
sure he's Johnny Sins, so I'd watch out.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, he can add me. He can add me. I mean, I don't know how it's done. I hope he just adds me, right?
Yeah, it'll pop up. Do you have the WallStreetBets TV chat open on that, right? Or I'm on the desktop, so it might be different. I don't know if you're mobile. Somebody who's actually much more technically inclined, like all of you, just help the gentleman.
Well, I found you guys. I'm not sure how I even found you guys a while ago now, and I love it. But I don't know how. It just was there one day, and then every morning it told me you guys were there, and now I have Discord, and I followed you guys, and I'm watching you guys. You guys are the best podcast I've ever heard. Okay.
So are you still in the industry now, or are you retired?
I'm sorry.
Are you still in the industry? Are you still doing on
Oh
Saturday?
yeah. I'm not that old yet. I'm not retired yet. I started very young.
Where's the newest production credits located at? Just for a real estate play, out of curiosity.
The biggest place for production.
I'm sorry. Yeah. The Louisiana had the 1 million production incentive.
It's always been Georgia. We just finished. We did the Guardians. It's Georgia now. Georgia has been huge with tax. Everything is tax incentive. Everything.
Yeah.
When I was in Florida working, we lost our tax incentive. Okay, and when we did that, they only talk about it. Governor Snot. These guys they see return on investment. There's huge return on investment. Something else is going on to the table with this kind of thing. So they sunsetted it years ago. And that's the days we had Rock of Ages came in. We had tons of TV series and movies, then. And then it died. And now Georgia's been around for years, and Georgia has huge Trilus Studios. They have all the Star Wars kind of screening, and it's huge. It's a huge, huge industry in Georgia. That's mostly where I work. Walking Dead, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say that everyone from Walking Dead moved there to film that, right?
Yeah, that's a fun little thing.
So as a quick aside, anybody who actually stacks enough to start some real estate plays, just so you all know, playing the production credit game for picking up properties for leasebacks is a phenomenal thing. Also, site scouting for the younger guys without as much capital is very, very productive. I'm sure Mongoose can tell you a little more about that, because I'm sure he's met a bunch of those people who do it. But yeah, when it comes to your state, if you ever get those credits, there's tons of advantage to be taken in almost any which way. Hell, man, you make coffee, you can fucking start craft services. But you're looking at all products, everything purchased out for your production company. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, we put millions into the. A commercial puts 200,000 a day when they shoot, but we put millions and millions and millions into businesses wherever we are. But what were you talking about with production before that? I kind of don't understand what you're talking about.
Oh, for the real estate pickups. So, so if you start a production, basically a site selection company in a new town, there's usually a commission base for it to do pretty largely. But even starting with your general tourism board, we did one of my places. We did Get On Up, the James Brown thing at, before we'd actually built the bar out. We did a like faux kind of build, like a set design on it, and basically that paid for 2 more bar bills out of that. But in general, picking up property for short-term rentals wherever filming is going to be, as for crew especially, to stay at, to rent out at extremely high prices when the incentives are right. I think when it was big in New Orleans, I think we were getting about 3 times over the regular rent from the people in the higher chain of command for the production with it. But yeah, there's just tons of different plays you can do basically from that aspect of it when it's in your city or in your state.
Absolutely. Don't forget, we also usually run about 700 a week per diem. If you don't give you a hotel, then maybe it's 7 or 8, and they give you maybe 5 a week per diem. If you don't have a hotel, it's more. If they don't give you a hotel, if you don't have one, it's more. So yeah, we spend that money like water.
Right. Definitely.
But it's a great deal, union and non-union. I work both. It's a right to work state in some places, and so yeah, it's a very good play. And craft service is a great. I mean, food is a great play. Craft service on a movie, if it's union, usually is a union. Locations also, but the deal with buying with properties, definitely, and everything, just definitely, yeah. But no one here in Florida, in Georgia, they're knowing. In Florida, they don't want to hear about it bringing tons of tourists in. Do you know that Dolphin's Tale 1 and 2 brought millions of new visitors into, and they built a new aquarium because of it, because of that movie where it was shot. So it brings tons of things later on. It never stops.
Bitcoin's asking, are you talking porno? Dolphin porn, huh?
Yeah, dolphin porn. Yeah, Dolphin's Tail. Yeah, it was Get Some Dolphin's Tail. It was called.
Get in the wrong hole.
No, I'm sorry. It was called Blowhole. Yeah, was it Blowhole? That was the porn version. It's a joke.
Hate to interrupt, but Verizon taking $37 calls for weekend, 526. Last time this run happened, they went up to $38.50 before weekend. Calls are at 12 cents right now, so I got in at 10. But
what's what is it? You said Verizon?
Yeah, Verizon.
What strike in DT you're looking? Are you in?
Fuck, sorry, I got a call. 526, $37 calls. Last time they kind of went on this spike, they went up to $38.50, and there's about a $2 run in 2 days, $1 each day. So for 11, 12 cents a contract, worth the risk in my eyes.
Wait, I'm sorry, I totally missed you on that on the strike. I got everything else but that. What was it on 36? You said?
$37. It's slightly out of the money.
Yeah.
I'm just planning off what happened about a month ago. It was at $36.50, ran to $38.50. But they're coming out with their home defense stuff as far as like going up against Allied and all that stuff, all like security wise measures. But I could see it running out the next couple days. But 11 cents a contract. I just picked up a couple of them at 10 cents. So just a little for fun this week.
Nothing wrong with that. Panda porn is real. Wow. Slut. Next level. Probably doing a lot better than Quantum Corp, I would bet, Bitcoin. So if anybody got in on Hardy's gambling play, the Caesars, that looks like that just turned and is now gonna do nicely. I don't know if anybody got in on his Dollar Tree play today. That was that's going really well. If anybody, dude. Yeah, I'm actually dropping the option strat of it in chat in case anybody is doing it or just following.
But I just saw 15 cop cars chasing after our car. It reminded me of the O.J. Simpson days, man. Somebody's about to get fucked. And no, I don't live in L.A.
The best or the best commercial or the cheapest commercial ever for an automobile. What was that? 8.5 hours for the Ford Bronco. You see, that's exactly where my mind went to. Damn school bus. Oh man, he should have had the night license plate one glove.
Urban got bagged and tagged because of that school bus incident, man. He hasn't been on here in a minute.
Last time I talked, I knew he was up 30K and was on the search for some nice high-end bourbons, and now he's dipped. Oh no. The Y2K got him.
Yeah, Y2K got him paid.
Ryler, are you still here?
Yeah, what's up?
So, by the way, BBNR, did you get the reference earlier this morning? With
Say it again.
BBNR, when you did the Warren Buffett abbreviation early this morning, like 5 or whatever.
No, I don't think I picked up on it.
So, way back in the early days of Facebook.
You went on mute. You still there?
NR. Wait, was I on mute? Son of a.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Wonderful.
You
So
said Facebook.
Yeah, mock George W. Bush website when he was just still president or leaving. That it was people thought was him, and it had tons of Facebook friends or whatever. But under hobbies, it had BBNR, which is banging bitches no rubbers.
Oh God.
I think that was the proof that it was fake.
So that's a ticker you found?
No, just a random old abbreviation.
Oh, okay. I
Or
was.
initially.
I thought there was a.
No,
like
no,
a new.
it's the Warren Buffett thing I was fucking with you this morning with.
Yeah, that'd be funny if I was like, yeah, I like that stock.
I think Verizon keeps climbing throughout the day. So whoever got in those calls cheap.
I haven't checked if it crossed for the entry. I need to go look at that.
It's at 36.70 now. I'm up about 77% on my plays, so I'm just going to take them.
Yeah, I tried to get it in at 11, and definitely it did not cross my entry.
Hey, it's better. It's better to get in where you feel comfortable than chase, because I've been on that side of the bag too.
Well,
yeah, I just bought at the top.
The last 2 days, things have been so odd with the market that I think this morning especially, I probably had 40 different orders, and I think only like 3 actually crossed. Some crossed much later, like after a couple minutes, but at open, it was crazy.
It's pushing back, so it's going to float in that little range unless it breaks through. I could see another test at the top, but I think it might stay in that range for today and then push onward tomorrow. I'm sorry if I cut you off, man.
Oh no, not at all. If it was me you were speaking. No, you did not. So for anybody who wasn't in the confused money chat, that is looking for just a cheap, possible long-term snipe that's degenerate. There, early this morning, I believe, is when I saw it. Maybe late last night. Yelp, everybody's twat waffle of a fucking peer review bullshit website. They supposedly one of the large activist holder firms that holds them has is pushing for an acquisition by somebody who is industry adjacent, who is fully funded for a $70 a share purchase price, no tax. That is, to me, ridiculous because that's double the money. But if anybody believes that could possibly even happen, they could probably do the same thing I did and throw a $48 entry for calls on. Let me find it. I'll put it in the chat-a-majigger. Holy fuck, I'm an idiot. I can't imagine it will, but if it does hit $70 a share, that $48 entry price, which probably now is about $65, I'd imagine, is $2,780 for any date within that scope that it hits minimally. Again, long shot as hell. Read the do your own due diligence on the NASDAQ thing, one thing above. And God, why would anybody buy Zim?
What's up with Zim? Zim or Zoom?
It's not very legitimate. It's one of the many kind of questionable shipping companies to me that just never believed that a lot of people flock to it for the dividend, I guess. So shipping companies, you recommend
aren't they the ones that had aren't they the ones that had like the 90% dividend or something?
Like 140% or something crazy, I thought, right? It is absolutely ridiculous. The thing with shipping companies that I learned is especially with like the ones out of Cyprus, call them up and or go on the website and email them and act like you're a customer and see how far you get with actually getting to a quote. And half the time I've realized in these companies, they don't even want to do business, which is fucking crazy. And there's a big one, I'm not going to say the name right now, out of Cyprus that's was last year, I guess was a meme, that would not take any orders. I mean, I had containers ready, and they just would refuse anything. Said, "Oh, we're all booked up," and just bullshit. But yeah, a lot of these guys are real sketch. Yeah, they're easy enough one to fact check and kind of fun.
And you found Zim to be one of the sketchy ones?
Yes.
Good to know. Thank you.
Not a problem. But as always, my plays are, as AI likes to say, extremely speculative. So, you know.
Yeah, on the Yelp thing, I bought some shares just in case.
Yeah, I mean, it'll perform just based on that rumor alone. It's like the whole Manchester United thing, or basically anything that the Saudis are low bidding right now too. You can pretty much play the same kind of game with is take like super like almost in the money or at the money leaps and just collect early on them on some short shares. And if it actually works out, it works out.
How far out are you looking for your calls?
For Man U or for
No, for Yelp.
For Yelp, let's see. I dropped it in here probably about like just the very top of the page. That one these were August 18th. I figured if it's gonna happen, it's gonna if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen before then. I'm already at, let's see. So I'm at 188% right now on them already.
Nice. Did you get those last night or today?
Open today. Yeah, open today at 48. So it's one of those things. It's not very. They're not very liquid on that strike on that date at all. And I think there was a 40. I think there was a 40-cent offer, and the ask was like 80 or something, or 65 or at that point. So it's probably still pretty wide, honestly. Yeah, these are my attempts at trying to figure out what being a degenerate is, I guess. I don't know if I do it. Am I doing it right?
Let me know. Let me know when you figure it out so I can figure out if I'm doing it right.
It's great. I was joking around. I had like a 6,280% loss the other week on something, and it was like $26.
What?
Well, somebody said, "Hey, only percentages matter." So it's like, okay, I'll do some percentage plays then, just to kind of like rack up real high percentages. And apparently, you can rack up really low percentages too. So like, I had this week with one portfolio where it was just like the most ridiculous things. Like I've got one right now at JPM, a bull call ladder that was like 2,520% today. That's only like $630. It sounds good it sounds good on the percentage.
Right.
But yeah, it's just random people like play. What is it? I misunderstood. Somebody had posted something earlier in chat about Kathy Woods winning one finally. something about her and Kramer. I don't know. But anybody who was talking about Kathy Woods, I'm very curious if they could let me know at what time that news or whatever her play was happened. Because I have a theory on something else. If y'all can tell me around what time you saw that article. Okay, she bought Palantir 10. So was it, do you know if that was at open or when exactly that was? Because at 9:30, you should take a look at like ARC. And then again at it's basically 9. Yeah. What fucking time is it? Yeah. Leaping Leopard, I've noticed over a couple days you have quite an interest in both the commodity form and the company form for equities on ONG. You didn't happen to be at OTC by any chance, were you? 2 weeks ago? So it's an annual thing in Houston that basically it's very, very heavily backed by R&B Beryakovsky and Liquid Gold assets out of Azerbaijan, bridging the whole Russian connection for it. But pretty much everybody, it was the earnings week for Exxon and Chevron and KBR, and so everybody was basically flying down into it on Sunday, and it went a week long. I highly recommend it if it's an interest of yours in the industry, because it's for if you can claim student status, it's only about like $200 for the registration, and it's about like $1,000 for just personal or industry if you're not doing corporate sponsorship. But it's basically eye-opening on a lot of things, and you get to touch face with a lot of very, very very interesting people, to say the least. But every year it kind of takes on a couple major themes. I'm going to drop a link to you for it, and for anybody else who's also into that. Well, yes. Yes, I was there, but for a couple for a couple sessions. But my big takeaways were what I went exactly for, basically, which probably didn't have too much. Some banking sector stuff for land leases, and then basically to see what's going on with the Permian and some of my exploration interests. But also just to see what's going on with some of the upstream stuff, because I felt it would change. But it's always good, and I don't want to yet talk about if Issy wants to talk about it, he can talk about odd tangents in ONG, but he might not want to. I'm not very comfy in it yet, publicly. Specifically, Baker fucking Hughes. There's been a lot of people who have moved certainly out of that. I mean, there's 6 down right now. No, fuck, there's gotta be more. There's 6 down, right? For the gas glut. Excuse me, 7. Baker Hughes has 7 down right now, it looks like. Have you followed anything with the BHP annex or takeover, I guess, from Woodside? They probably have had a huge amount of exposure with that. I would say especially with the recovering off the pricing, man. Man, that's Boiler. That's kind of I would guess maybe a good Scald question on that, on exposure via ETF to mergers and acquisitions. How well that plays out with waiting.
I'm looking at taking Riot puts 11.5 for 526. If you can get in around 27 cents. But I think they have a little breakdown coming in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I was expecting basically a lunchtime reversal on a lot of the tech and crypto and stuff that's been further risk on going in. That it looks like the indexes are downturning right now. So I think you're probably absolutely correct.
Yeah, that one on the board since this morning. I wish I took it at 19 when it was there, but I scraped some at 25, and then after seeing it go down a little bit more, I feel more confident at it. Just like I don't want to buy 30. I wouldn't buy 30 because then you're asking for a 50-cent move, but just to be in the money. But I could see it. $5.26 date and then 11.5 put. Man, nervous. I wish you got in those Verizon calls, man. That shit's gonna keep running.
Yeah, I know. I can't chase something once it's kicked up that much, man. No, when you told me about it, it was pretty sweet. Yeah, because you'll have some days of running on that. Actually, I even was looking at the next expiry too. Honestly, was pretty good on the Delta as well.
Yeah, 4 cents, 5 cents, dude. I mean, all you needed to do is go up a little bit, a little push, and you're gonna get the rest of that for the day. It's not gonna. They just fought that 36.74, 75 battle, and it's staying above it. So, I mean, unless there's a full breakdown or a double top, I'm gonna hold what I got. I already did cash out half on a double though, so I have no logs.
Hey guys, I'm blind to the chats right now, so I have somebody like yell at me if anybody needs anything. Sorry, but I do hear noises.
Yeah, she loves season, man. Just take some profit. Always take profit. Cover what you got left to run, and it's all free money. Jeff, get your ass up here, boy.
So what's this Verizon play?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. I had called it out at 36, like 50, but the last time Verizon kind of ran like this, it ran all the way up to 38.50, and it was a Wednesday to Friday. So we have an extra day actually, but I called 37 calls for this Friday, and they were 10 cents a pop. But it's just slowly climbing, man.
What's the reason for the run up on Verizon? You think it's just
It's just
changing?
They trade in a similar kind of style. They drop and then go right back up, but they came out with like a lot more of like home defense stuff to match like the Allieds and Vector security.
type things. So integrating a lot of what you already have in your house with more home protection, but it's the future of just media and any type of signal coverage and anything there. It's more, I guess it's a better outlook for the future. I haven't really looked into it much. I just know the last time it ran up like this, it went to 38.50, and I like to play technical.
So I just got a phone, guys. Anybody familiar with morphogenesis? Or Cobar? I guess this morning there was a deal for a merger. It's immunotherapies with cancer vaccines, basically. That like I said, this is a couple hours old, or maybe an hour or two now, 2 hours, 3 hours old. So maybe take a look. Cobar's CWBR. And basically it's a divvy and share play for a takeover of a large part of the business by morphogenesis. I guess it's technically a merger, but we'll probably see huge jump if it has, and I haven't even looked at the ticker yet, to be honest. But maybe take a look at it. CWBR. Like I said, it might be too late. I apologize. I just heard about it.
I'm actually surprised that Verizon has like a 7% dividend.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's a good stock. You're not going anywhere. It's just when it runs up about 5 to 10%, and it'll come right back down. And it's slow though, so it's not like get in, get out. But I mean, I doubled up, and I still got runners. So I'm just gonna hold till Friday.
Somebody who's in chat, if Izzy's still here, maybe you can help me out with that. There was someone, Leopard, I think we were talking earlier. I forgot to tell him, the Albanese government thing. I'm sure he probably knows about this by now, but if anybody doesn't, the cap on the what is it, like the 200 top, more than 200, but the top greenhouse gassers of Australian production basically are getting an asshole tax, and there's going to be a big drawback on that. I think he was asking who had some negative exposure on things, and that should be probably pretty bad. But to really hit that market, you got to trade CFDs for the most part. If Izzy's here, he'll probably help with that.
I think you got to monitor the debt ceiling talks no matter what. I mean, depending on what happens and what gets passed, I don't think we'll default. I just think it's going to come down to the final hour because that's what the government likes to do, leaping. But it depends on what stocks you're playing. I think the whole market's going to be affected if we default. And if it passes, I think we get a little bump. But if there's news on top of news, bad news and good news, it'll probably cancel out.
Well, what's up? Something happened to the debt ceiling?
No. Leaping Leopard in the chat asked about, do you monitor your puts and calls based on debt ceiling talks? I mean, you have to.
You can add more to them. But yeah, you can manage your position, but you also should hedge your exposure at the same time. Like Helpful was talking earlier about Riot a little while ago. You know, so like if his Riot turns on him, he can go in with like Bido in shares, the crypto future ETF. That's 3x Labs for the day. But you can basically just shore up whichever of your Greeks you need to do. Is pretty much the best way. Yes, single binary option plays are definitely in the long run not going to be the best way to build wealth. Make certain that you have different aspects to your strategies, you know, and definitely mitigating certain risks and exposures, and the debt ceiling being one of them. You know, I've been going both ways on everything that's a traditional safe haven asset for 3 or 4 days right now, and if you're not moving in and out and changing up things, you'll get eaten alive with some of this shit, because I mean the last 2 days it just boomed with things that are not risk off, as we all talked the other day.
Correct, and that's why I buy one put and one call.
And then, you know, strip and strap, basically. For those guys who are just getting into to more complex options, kind of check out strip strategies and strap strategies, where you're basically going both ways with a straddle, and you add to one. You can keep overweighting it. You know, and then you can, if you need to go longer, you can cut it out with selling something under. I mean, there's tons of ways to do. Again, the OIC, the Options Industry Council, the non-profit website sponsored by the for-profit CBOE, that you can find on either of their websites, has a good, basically, start of how to mitigate and how to hedge. But there's 2 or 3 guys who on our options who are very helpful, and I think their Monday talks encompass that. If anybody's ever needs to do on Reddit, but Papa Charlie's always really good for interesting ways to do entry placement for mitigation.